Good afternoon. Thanks. First of all, I want to apologize because I think it's delayed a little bit. We want to start at 11:45. I think it's a little late. And I know that the panel discussion team here has been waiting for about an hour and a half. But I also know that we are between lunch for all of you guys. So thanks for bearing with us. We will not take too much time. But I personally think it's a very interesting session that we have set up here. And like I think Professor Ashwat talked about, we have a good set of wide variety of industry experts sitting here. And because of time and the way I want to do it, I don't want to introduce them. I will want them to introduce themselves when I kind of ask the question, because that's the best way to introduce people, and I don't think I'll be doing a good job by introducing them. So I will kind of start asking a few questions to kind of initiate a discussion. The first time you get the mic, introduce yourself for 2 minutes, say what you guys are doing and what you have done for about a minute and a half, and then kind of your thoughts on the question, right? So the first one, I kind of want to talk about, so there are 2 or 3 sections I want to address, and specifically from this school, I mean, I call it school, sorry, engineering school. Everybody in the audience, how many of you have heard about AI, innovation, terms like that? I want to see a raise of hands. What is AI? Anybody? What is artificial intelligence? So I will call upon maybe Anupriya first, I think, because ladies first and it starts with A. So I'm going to call her and say, see, recent years, you know, in the innovation and the global innovation hub, with startups and technology in Bangalore, there's a lot of activity going on. My question on behalf of my students here is, as freshers entering into the workforce, how do you envision contributing to the India innovation, and in the area of AI, or it can be in any area, and what's the most potential innovation in the coming years? What's your thought on that?
Hi everybody, good afternoon. I know you guys are hungry probably, but we will be very quick. So I'm Anupriya. First of all, thank you everybody, BIT College. This is a great event. I'm sure you're very, very lucky to be here. There were so many great talks earlier. So just to touch base, first of all, I hate the word AI. Do you know why? Because AI is a very broad spectrum. I am a machine learning scientist, and machine learning is a subset of AI. So I know that, yes, it's a great word to say that you have AI, but you have data analytics, you have machine learning, you have so many different umbrellas under AI. And of course, we are here to make everything smarter, and AI is helping with that. But to give you some insights, I see that there are a lot of platforms starting from your college. I mean, you have great platforms. There was a really nice set of clubs, and you should be very, very proud of yourselves to be part of this club. I 100% agree that college is the best time of your life. So whilst you're making the best set of friends and the best, you're having the greatest time having fun, but you are also learning, and one fine day all of you will be very happy and successful. So believe in that. With respect to innovation, I think India is really the place to be. I moved from the UK in spite of, getting a really good paycheck to start Spookfish, and we'll tell you a little bit more about Spookfish. But Bangalore is the place to be, yes, but also many other cities in India, because the government has created a lot of lot of platforms actually to help all of you. There are mentor-mentee sessions. There is India. So how many of you know about the initiatives that Prime Minister Modi has told where we are going to be in 2047? Raise your hands. How many of you know about what Government of India is going to help you with in 2047? I see no hands. So I would say, please, that the newspaper is real, okay? It's amazing in terms of all of these initiations. It's a lot of free stuff that the government is giving you. You will be paying taxes one day to the government. Make use of these platforms because there are a lot of innovations and a lot of programs you can just be part of. All you need is 4 hours on a Saturday to do and take part of these programs. So please do that. Even the Karnataka government has their own initiatives. The Niti Aayog is one of them with Government of India. So yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll go to the end there with Mr. Ramanan. And I know Mistral is a very popular name in BIT, and I'm very proud. Alumni, he was 1 year junior to me. Both of them started Mistral, and we have done a lot of work here and in the industry. Mr. Ramanan comes from a very different background, private sector, and he works with the defense in India. There's a lot of projects and innovation they do from a defense perspective. So what's your thought on that, Mr. Ramanan?
When we say AI, or when we say newer technologies, or when we talk in terms of innovation, and you also look at defense, the thought process is that innovation in defense, not possible. Or you say innovation in defense, it'll take its own course. And by the time you can say that you have innovated, it's sparse, which is not true. So my name is Ramanan, and I have been working right since 1989, and I've been working on defense technology right since 1989. Now, the defense technology has evolved over many years now, over decades. Yes, it is true that whatever you take into defense, or whatever the defense would like to use, or the services would like to use, there are many layers of many layers of technology that goes into it.
1 second, Ramanan, sorry. Hey, upstairs, guys. I know in a classroom we all did the same thing, okay, by the way. There is a lot of things when it's not heard in the classroom, you can study outside. I know there's a lot of content. What you're going to hear on this stage, you can't read it in a book, or you won't find it anywhere. So give me 30 minutes dedicated time. Please listen to what they say. It's going to be really useful. So please pay attention.
Okay, let me throw the carrot to you guys. How many of you would like to do your internship in a company which works on defense applications? Well, please speak to the coordinator who coordinates with us, and push your names out, and we will see how to take you in. So you do your internship, and when you do your internship, it's not just technology that you learn, you will also learn as to how to be when you join a professional atmosphere, right? So we are from a professional atmosphere, and therefore we are the way you are. I understand the way you are, but then it's always good to change. So as I was saying, defense uses technology, but the technology defense uses is not in the same manner as the commercial industry uses technology. Defense uses technology which is proven. It takes time to prove technology, right? So defense is always a step behind the normal commercial industry when it comes to technology. But that doesn't mean that there's no innovation. There's a fair amount of innovation. Let me take a quick example. You would have heard of remotely piloted vehicles, or RPVs, or which were also called as UAVs. Now, in the yesteryears, the UAVs were big vehicles. But as time went by, the UAV ultimately became what is called as a drone today.
Exactly.
Right? And you know drones. Drones also have another name based on how they can be used. They are called as miniature drones, or they are called as bots. Have you ever heard of anything called as bots? Or micro drones? Well, that's part of innovation, and that is something which the defense is working on. Not just that, there are so many other methods of communication on which the defense industry is working on. Now, what I would like to again emphasize is when we say innovation, please do not mistake it with invention, okay? Innovation is nothing but bettering a particular form of usage of anything, or anything that is conceivable. That's innovation, right? Making it more efficient, making it reach the masses. That's what innovation is all about. Right? So that's my take as far as the thing is concerned. As far as defense is concerned and innovation is concerned, I could not complete. My name is Ramanan, and I work for a company called as Mistral. I've been with Mistral for the past 20 plus years. I invest my time in building systems. These systems go into all three platforms. That is into air-based applications, naval applications, as well as ground-based applications. These are rugged systems which have the capability to work in very diverse atmospheric conditions, and this is where our expertise lies. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Raman. Thanks. I'll go to one of the alumni here. Padmasri is she's going to introduce herself. But one thing I want to say, thanks to all of them who. It was just one phone call for us to say, hey, we have an event like this. Can you please come? They all took a time out on their weekday and come here. So Padmasri is an alumni 84 batch. I'm proud to say she got the 4th rank for the university here. So applause for her. And and she heads. She's one of the senior leadership team in ABB. How many of you heard ABB? Company called ABB? Okay, what do they do?
What?
Sorry?
No.
Anybody?
We are into electrical equipments. Lot of electrical equipments, including transformers, breakers, switchgear, protection relays. I hope there are electrical students here. And I'm sure you would have heard about protective relays, switchgear, circuit breakers, etc. Of course, those are not the only ones. The marines and ports, the kind of azipods that you see in the where you are using with ships, we are into manufacturing of those. And we are also manufacturing quite a few software systems for manufacturing automation, meaning control automation. Instrumentation students also perhaps would know we are into drives, motors and drives. So in electrical engineering, power, machines, you take anything, ABB is one of the forerunners in those areas. They are big manufacturing plants. We have big manufacturing plants across the globe. And of course, India is, ABB's presence in India is very high. And I have been with ABB now almost for 31 years. Of course, in between, I had a short stint with software in TCS. And so what I want to indicate, meaning there were a lot of questions which Kumar had indicated to me. And then one thing that I felt as students, you should understand is, just like when we were in studying, internet was not easily available, because 89, internet was available, but then we used to go to internet parlors to go get an access to internet. Today, because internet is
like 96K modems, baud rate modems which used to dial out and do internet, right?
Correct. So that was where we started our knowing the world, meaning, and if you wanted to take IEEE papers, we had to go to libraries to search big volumes. And today, it's all at the tip of your hands. So, but internet is being used in all walks of life. And today, we are in the cusp of using artificial intelligence in a very same way. See, artificial intelligence or internet or any of these technologies which you're today seeing, they are all enablers to be used in many other fields. That is what I try to indicate to many of the students is that you really need to have the core knowledge. These technologies help you to bring the problem state, solve the problems which are present in those fields in a better way. So these as much as these technologies you need to expose yourself to, you should also have your core very, very strong. You cannot solve a problem in a motor using AI without knowing the motor itself, how it works, how the transformer works. You will not. Today, I am in that position where I am talking about AI, using including generative AI to solve problems in manufacturing execution systems, in a place where raw material is converted into a final product. It can be steel, it can be cement, it can be pulp and paper, it can be any of these things. There is a continuous process that is going on. The control of these processes are automated, highly automated. And then you have the next level, which is talking about managing these operations. And you use a lot of AI there. You use it for scheduling the manufacturing activities. So AI or anything, any innovation that you see in these different technologies, you should be sharp enough to understand how can I use it for a problem statement in my field. See, power or you cannot get away with not having motors or generators or anything which generates power. All these are going to stay. Even if you're having the generative AI at its peak, all these are going to stay. So if you really want to utilize all these technologies, find that these innovations have to be used, you need to also give as much importance to your core subjects as you are giving to these technologies. So that is something which I thought is a very important subject, because most of us talk about these technologies, and these technologies are enablers, and you really need to also get your core very, very strong. And otherwise, the problem statements or the solutions to the problem statements will never happen.
Great, thanks.
I don't know whether I answered.
Absolutely. I think in summary, I'm going to say what everybody said is open AI and you do chat GPT and find something that's not AI. There are a lot more things to AI than just going and building your resume on chat GPT. That's not AI, okay? So, I'm going to extend the same question. When you talk about AI and, in India, the economic landscape and the push in innovation, I think Anupriya talked about. How is entrepreneurship kind of related to that? In what emerging sectors do you think entrepreneurs, if there are people who want to be entrepreneurs here, what do you think is a good vertical or whatever from a innovation to entrepreneurship? How do you connect that, and what do you tell the students? I will go to Satya first, because he comes from a very different perspective. I'm sure he's going to introduce himself and kind of relate what they talked about and say, how do you look at entrepreneurship on top of it?
Thank you, Kumar. So I'm Satya, and I work as a CEO at Great Lakes Institute of Management, heading their innovation there and incubation. So prior to that, I used to work as a head of Karnataka startup cell in Department of ITBT for government, leading the innovation in the state. So I worked largely on the policy, implementation of the various initiatives in the policy. I think conceptualized one of the biggest funding programs in India, or probably the world, because we used to give 50 lakh rupees as a grant-in-aid seed fund for startups. Probably if you don't convert the currency, I think it was 5 million rupees. So if you don't convert the currency, I think we were running the world's biggest funding program.
Absolutely.
So one of the recipients is sitting here next to me. Dr. Anupriya's company was also funded in Elevate. And the person sitting next to me on the left was used to be a jury member in Elevate. So it was a very inclusive program. So I think when Mr. Kumar said that, just give me 30 minutes of silence, today it matters a lot, because even when we were in college, we used to get impatient in guest lectures and speakers, but that time it was still okay because we didn't have so much of competition. All what we had is jobs to take up. If not jobs, then probably see what to do, right? Because there was nothing called as startups. How many of you would like to start your own startup? I'm not going to ask questions, but can you raise hands? Few of them. How many of you have family businesses? Few of them. If somebody says, join my family business, and if you want to start a startup, please join. Because that is something which is going to give you all the time in life to think and moonlight on your startup while you still earn. And if you are unable to join your family business and make it successful, probably you will have to take learnings from that, because you will still not be able to, make your own startup scale up. So if somebody is in your house is giving you a chair to join them, don't say, no, I want to join corporate. I mean, unless and until you want to start a startup. But if your core aim is to join a corporate and be there and, stick to it, like, madam is here, 31 years is almost like, I think, half of our age, probably lifetime. I don't think so that's a different story we should hear from her, how she was able to stay there for and, did that with the resilience. I think, so what I would like to say is, I worked in a IT firm. Sometime I used to think that I should join Mistral also, so I would say Ramanan also is here. I mean, it's such a coincidence now that today we are on the same platform. I used to work with a company called Global Edge Software. I didn't know anything about embedded systems because I was from a business management background. I sat through, read everything, learned what they do, and then cracked a deal with Qualcomm. It was a big story. But then I moved to entrepreneurship. I had my own business. Then I got a chance with government. Then now with an academic institution. So it's a whole gamut. I think it's a great story. You should think and keep your eyes open for all the initiatives, what government is supporting, what's happening with startups, and then carefully make a move.
Thanks. Actually, Global Edge, you said, so MP Kumar is a good friend of mine. So, so I'll go to Shivu. Sorry, his name is Shivanand. I'm used to calling him Shivu. He's he's a very humble guy, honest. I and he went to IIM together for doing one course. So, very good resource. I kind of I kind of always keep telling him, I don't know where you have time to do such things. So while he's doing a lot of things in corporate, you should listen to what he does on the side and helps children. So before I go to Shiva, I just want to make sure you have the right guy here. Whoever raised the hand for startups, you should go to him. He can fund, he told that. So he can help you get funded. So please be interested and make sure that you make notes and get the name and connect with him, because it's important. Raising money is not a easy task, guys. It's really, really hard. So make sure that you get the face picture with him and get his contacts. So Shiva, I'll go to you on the topic. What do you think from an entrepreneurship and in the area of verticals, where the students should pay attention as they're finishing school? What do you think they should be doing?
Thanks. My name is Shivananda Koteshwar. Everybody calls me Shivu. I work in a company called Synopsys. Synopsys. We design tools which is used by people who design chips. So Intel, Qualcomm, MediaTek, any of the semiconductor company uses our tools. We are the only company who have end-to-end tools which is required for you to design, verify, and tape out the chips. We are in India for the last 25 plus years, and the company is around 35 years here. I head the India R&D Center, and we have around 6,000 people in India, and I manage a team of 1,600 across the different cities in India. I'm based out of Bangalore. That's my primary job. Apart from this, I work very closely with educational institutes in multiple things. I teach in engineering colleges and MBA colleges, and also have been a part of multiple incubations and accelerators across different parts of India, primarily Bhubaneswar, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. The other initiative which he was talking about is my trust. It's called Belaku. People who are from Bangalore understand the word Belaku. It means light in Kannada. And we run a school for underprivileged kids in Malvalli, which is around 100 kilometers from here. So all the kids go to government school, and we do a weekend program for them. So we have multiple centers in Malvalli and one center in Bangalore also. So we've been doing it for the last 6 to 7 years. Me and my friend Smita, who's heading marketing in a company called as Answer. So that's pretty much what we do. Coming back to the question you have, I think, see, one of the biggest advantage you have is technology is pretty much omnipresent right now. Knowledge is democratic. 24/7 access you have for on the information side, right? So I don't think you need a playbook to tell what to do and where to get this information. I think almost every information is available on the internet. The challenge, however, is to curate this information. And I'm sure many of your experts, there are cells within the colleges who will help you. There is a lot of policies and framework from the government of Karnataka as well as the central government, like he mentioned, I think you should take advantage of. Remember, most of the opportunities today, if you really think about different technologies, different startups which has come, it has been in the intersection of two different technologies. It is not only in one domain. If you're a computer science engineer, if you're a mechanical engineer, you're a civil engineer, electrical engineer, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is sit together, discuss what are the challenges, what are the problem statements you have in each of these verticals. And you'll be surprised to look at the intersection and say, hey, this is an opportunity which nobody has addressed. Today, I think the last 10 years has been an intersection of technology with different verticals. Whether it's porter, whether it's your delivery, whether it's your Swiggy, it's always been hospitality with technology, computer science, right? But I think the areas which not has been looked upon in India right now is the mechanical and civil engineering. I think if you're an electronics engineer or a computer science engineer, I strongly urge you to start talking to electrical engineers, computer science engineers, and mechanical engineers, civil engineers, and try to understand what are the challenges that field has. And as a computer science engineer, electronics engineer, you might be able to provide solutions to address the problem there. And when I was walking around here, I did see some of them who's looking into that areas. Kudos to you. I think you already have taken the first step. All you have to do now is not stop here, because most of you want to do a master's or want to go to US or join your different businesses. I urge you to continue this journey. You have a lot of time in your hand. A lot of times people tell me that I didn't get a job in the first year, so my life is gone. I don't think so. Looking back at our careers, I can tell you can start at any point in time. This is your golden era. You have a lot of energy, you have a lot of networking opportunities and multiple different opportunities. I think you should encash it, try to get into some of these areas and push forward. Many of my students, I still remember a couple of years back, I was in one of these panels like this. I was talking, and after the panel, I got a call from this girl, and she said, sir, I want to meet you. And I said, come over. And she came after like 2 hours. I live in Hebbal. And she looked very tired, so I asked her, where did you come from? She said, Kangeri, because I was doing this presentation in RV. And I asked her, you should have told me, you could have done a phone call. She said, no, I want to meet you, sir. She was in final year, and she gave me this idea. I said, it's fantastic, why don't you proceed? I said, nobody is supporting it. I said, what about your parents? They said, my dad is supporting this. I said, go for it. Everybody is saying that she had a job at that time. Everybody is asking me to join this company, but my heart says I want to start this, and do this. I said, why don't you do it? And we brainstormed. She had almost everything sorted out. All I did was I listened to her, nothing else. I didn't give her any extra ideas. Honestly, she was like 5 feet and this small. And she was explaining her ideas with a lot of enthusiasm. Today, she's a 200 crore company, TrashCon. Niveda is her name. I'm sure if you Google her, you'll find her today. She couldn't even come to the stage and talk when I first met her. And after, I think, 2 years, I saw her standing with Priyank Kharge, at that time was IT minister. And I think it was one of the first companies which was funded by the Elevate program also. And today, she was incubated in IM. And she's doing really well. One of my favorite mentee I have. And till date, right, she's one phone call away, I am one phone call away for her. Because every stage of her companies, she's been learning and doing it, pursuing her dreams. She talks exactly the same things what she used to talk a couple of years back. And I think with perseverance, hard work, she has done it. Again, it's one of the examples I've given you. Many of my students have done wonderful jobs and wonderful companies they're running. You all have those opportunities. So don't stop in the final year here. Please proceed. If you need any help, he's there for funding. Many of us are here who can help you out with taking it and giving it a form and taking it to the next step. Thank you.
Thanks. So, thanks, Shiva. And so you got your second contact here, right? Somebody who will give you money, somebody who is going to mentor you. So please make sure that you have those contacts. He's willing to go. He said that out loud. You can't have anything better than that. And just FYI, he's not even an alumni of BIT. What else do you need? I think good hands for them, and make sure that get his contact, go to him, explain your idea, and he'll let you know what to do next, okay? So I'm going to go to Abhishek after that, because Abhishek comes from a very different perspective. While we all come from industry, Abhishek has been humble enough. He is a part of BMS institutions. Have you heard of BMS College? No? Okay. So he comes from BMS College, and he's sitting on the stage here, man. Give him a good big hand on that. So he's been there for about 12 years, 10, 12 years. So he's going to explain, what do you think in, and I know this is a different thing, but from a student's perspective, from an entrepreneur, what is your take? Because I know you've done a lot of things in terms of innovation, getting students, and also you have a, you have a program as well in BMS for this, right?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Abhishek Appaji. I head the research and development wing at BMS College of Engineering. I know I'm the only one odd man out, so I thought I'll wear another hat.
No, you're the special one.
Okay, special odd one out. Yeah, so I will wear my other hat. I am also the director of a foundation known as Big Foundation, where we nurture entrepreneurship within BMS College, BMS group of institutions. We have around 15 such institutions across Bangalore. So majorly what we do is, I mean, apart from me encouraging students and faculties in BMS College of Engineering to do research and innovation, the other thing we also do is to encourage them as startups. See, basically, I categorize my students and faculties also into 3 categories. One of them, especially students, one set of students, which are majority, who want to end up in one fancy jobs where, like, say, companies like ABB, Google, Wipro, they want to offer. And second set of students is someone who wants to pursue their career towards research, do their masters, do their PhD, and end up having a faculty job or some research-oriented jobs. And third category of students, which are very, very minority, is someone who will end up with innovation and entrepreneurship. So we cater from the Big Foundation. So Big is BM Srinivasaya Innovators Guild Foundation. So we cater students of BMS group of institution and also other sister concerned and other institutions across the state, where they can come walk into our campus or walk into our floor, where it's very small campus. I mean, we are also having the very crunch of space similar to what the BIT also has. So what we do is we ask them that what is your idea. We have 2 kind of program. One is they already have an idea, they have kind of incorporated. We help them to grow further, and we have pool of investors, we have pool of mentors. Not only in India, we also have mentors across the world, even from US, where they talk to our students and nurture their idea, and we have a successful startups in pipeline. Another kind of program is we develop the whatever their intentions to convert their idea into startups, very seed stage. Right now we are running one program where we are telling them to register their ideas. We'll find proper ideas, and then we convert those ideas into product. So somebody who already has well-established ideas, somebody who wants to convert their ideas into startups. We also fund many startups in terms of good amount of money. If it is good, we have angels, as well as we have well-established investors, investor syndicates. We have a lot of mentors. So having said that, coming from me being in academic background and the kind of students what we have, I can see those students who are talking initially, now they're not talking, they're the one who will become entrepreneur ultimately, because they don't know what is important at that point of time, but they'll soon realize that there is something which we can do differently. So entrepreneurs are something, even what kind of success we are trying to see is just 2%. So we have 100 startups, we want 2 startups to success. And right now we have around 15 startups. We have few startups who are also valuated at almost like 18 crores also, who are part of our incubation center. One of the student who started when he was in 5th semester, and now is 18 crore startups. He just graduated this year. And then we have another startup who actually thought she's innovating. She had good turnover of almost 45 lakhs in just one financial year. But now she's closed the doors of the company and she's pivoting, saying what technology I want, because the investor not ready to invest in their company because there's no technology. It's just a management, or it's more like a supply chain management, which was, much of it was manual, but the investor wanted technology. So she is pivoting back. On the same contrary, I want to tell that technology is not everything. I guess everybody on this stage would agree that it's not just AI, blockchain, cyber security, or so on and so forth. All these fancy words are not something which will cater. I know one innovation where there is a simple thing like a toilet which has all the features in it. It can give you, you have to just get in and it will give you a nice music. It will do everything for you. Only thing what you have to do, you know. Do you really need that technology? Another technology I've seen, air conditioners which can do changes in 0.1 degree. So 22.1 degree it can change. Can your body feel that change in 21 degree and 21.1 degree? I don't think it's required. So if the technology is there, it's just a tool to find a solution, but technology itself is not a solution. So have that clear gap on whatever you're trying to give. That's what will get well established. And my last thought of word is ensure that what is that you want to choose your path, whether you want to become an entrepreneur, do you have that zeal? There are a lot of tests available online which can tell you, or there's a lot of people around you, I'm sure your faculty or someone who is managing incubation center can tell you whether entrepreneurship is right thing for you. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, this is the right stage. You become entrepreneur, fail fast, and then go find your right path. There are many colleges, including BMSCE, we encourage students to become entrepreneur, and we also tell them, come back, our placement cell is still open for you if you want to become again in the majority where somebody wants to get employed. So we have all kinds of people. I'm sure BIT is also having all the kind of options, so you should just explore and choose your right path. Yeah.
Thanks, thanks Abhishek. So, I mean, look at that, right? I mean, obviously I want to build a story, right? I'm sure you all figured it out, right? I started with what are the technologies that you need to use. Then I figured out how do you get it funded. Then somebody is going to mentor you. And there's a place you can go and start. That's what he said, Abhishek. The last one, I don't know if Madan Padki, how many of you heard Madan talk about, he talked about unicorns, right? How many of you heard unicorns? You heard? What is unicorn? Sorry? I can't hear somebody, louder please. $1 billion startup, right? That's the toughest problem, right? If you have $1 billion startup, how do you manage the money? So I'll go to Raghu, who comes from a completely different background. I'm proud to say he's alumni. He's 1 year junior to us in this school. I want him to talk. He comes from a completely different financial background, and I want him to talk about how do you raise and how do you make sure that you spend it properly.
Interesting. Thank you. Again, thanks again, for BIT and everybody to bring us here together. And on the panel here, we have a lot of people with domain expertise, startups, and technology. This is, I don't think I can go deep into that. Just to share an anecdote, starting with your question on what is AI. This is, for me, looking back, it's funny. This is 1987, and I was an alumni here of BIT. I was in electronics department, but somebody told me that, hey, there is Computer Society of India, you can present a paper, right? That's all I heard. And I said, okay, guess which topic they told me to? It was AI. This was in 1987.
87, wow.
Okay, so, and then I didn't know anything about AI, obviously. And I went to my professors in computer science department and electronics department, right? They helped me understand what this is, and they said, go do research, right? Went to the library, wrote a paper on AI, got accepted, went to Tirupati, got submitted, right? And made a presentation there. But looking back,
that's a great thing, huh? In 87, okay, he's talking about 87 and AI.
Right? And I graduated in 89 at that year, right? So looking back, essentially what that told me was, I wasn't doing research on AI at that point. I was just doing a study paper. But that paper today, when everyone talks about AI, I think you heard about ChatGPT. You heard about the buzzwords. You heard about the actual implementations where AI has been done in specific vertical domains like healthcare or control systems, technology, education, right? But what I still remember in that paper which I wrote was around 8 different topics under AI, right? And among them, it started with expert systems, fuzzy logic, neural networks, natural language processing, that is ChatGPT, right? Machine learning models. And fuzzy, so these are the different areas in AI, what you have, right? But as I went ahead, okay, that caught my interest. So after I finished graduation. I worked here in BIT for a short while as a lecturer, and then I moved on to do my higher studies. But I got an opportunity to study in a NASA-funded university in Alabama, which was essentially based on AI, which was about some space engine diagnostics using knowledge-based models, right? That's where the first natural language processing. So I did there, and after that, I got a job in Wall Street. That's where my, financial services background. So that's where I spent like 3 decades of my, career in different companies like Morgan Stanley and Barclays Capital in New York, working on different, solutions. There, this is interesting. If I look back, we talk about AI. Nobody was mentioning AI, but that was continuously being used. I'm talking about since 2000. And I'll just give you, I want to give you like just 2 examples so that, as students, I want to kind of, get a feel for, most of the time, here we hear about, okay, we need to do startup. We need to be an entrepreneur, which is excellent, right? Which is what, now, actually I'm in my tail end of my career. I finished my 3 decades of work there, and I moved back to Bangalore. It's been like a couple of months now. I'm still getting my footing in Bangalore now, and I'm trying to be, I'm also a wannabe entrepreneur now, right? Like a lot of you have a lot of questions. But looking back, what I also felt was, in case, you all will end up in corporate world in some role or fashion, but don't get discouraged. You can find out, islands of innovation, space for innovation, which is what I found in our companies, right? Where people were innovating constantly. And why were they doing that? It was not because of, pure research. They were trying to solve a problem. And I'll give you like 2 examples, right? Working in financial industry, essentially I was in the technology space, but I'll give you 2 examples, where in the financial space, we had a lot of people with, PhDs, and interestingly, these were all engineers who got their PhDs in, finance and who were trying to build models, trying to solve, financial problems, right? And one of the big problems, there are 2 big, there are a lot of problems, but just to, mention about 2 big things in finance or anywhere else is data, right? We had around petatons of data, right? Tons and tons of data, but how do you address these? How do you store this? Now, you must have heard about databases. You're studying all over, and most of them are relational databases. None of that Oracle or Sybase cut it out for us, right? And we had people who invented a new database. You can go and Google it. It's open source now, A+, right? And one of the advantages of this database was it could do matrix computations on the fly, time series data, which was able to, kind of provide solutions very fast. So this is one of the things. So basically, the point here is that if you find a need, you got to innovate. You got to create something, in case if you don't find it around you, right? So that's one space. And the same thing, with respect to technology. When it came to technology, people said, oh, we didn't have the proper tools at the time. And we had people, where, I was fortunate enough to implement those solutions, which is essentially they said, okay, let's go ahead and build a new language, or let's go ahead and create a new tool set, which helps. And interestingly, this is one of the things I hope, a lot of verticals today we talk about, EVs and, other startups, which essentially we are talking about today is collaboration. Now, what happened was one of the things, our people did was, hey, look, if we have to do trading, in the stock market, it's not sufficient enough for us to do all by ourselves. There is a connection here across the globe. You have to communicate with exchanges. You have to communicate with partners. You have to communicate with different finance houses. So how do you do that? So they all sat together like IEEE. You must have heard about IEEE and all the different standards. So they came up with a standard called as the FIX protocol, Financial Inter-Exchange Protocol, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is, if we have to really come out with scalable solutions, and I think our Indian government has done this here, and their UPI stack is a great example of that, protocol setup, right? And I think as you think about your solutions, as you think about moving forward, also think about, hey, how can you cut across, this vertical and find the common theme which can communicate with each other. So that's essentially, some of the things about, innovation and AI. And the key thing I always try to say is this, right? Why do you want to innovate? Ask this basic, simple question, right? For me, why do you want to innovate? Innovate, we all want to better our lives. It is to improve our lives together, right? And innovation has started right from the time fire was invented, wheel was invented, all the way to steam engines and social media. Well, maybe social media is still out there in the question whether it's good or not, but that's where we are, I think. And going forward, there are only 2 or 3 things I just want to say and rest, right? We had Madan and some of our esteemed panels talk about, they mentioned about the different C's, right? About confidence, about communication. And one of the things I want to add to that list, and this is a takeaway for all of you students and including me and everybody else, is curiosity. And I think that word curiosity is a very simple thing, right? Take a look at little kids, take a look at any other person. I think that is the one which drives you. Got to be curious at every point, right? And this is another thing, when I was growing up in Bangalore, for me, research always associated with laboratories. BEL, NAL, HAL, everything is a laboratory. But only when I went to the corporate world, it doesn't have to be a laboratory. Where you are sitting, it doesn't matter what role, what position, you have a scope to innovate. And I call that the small IEEE, which is innovation, incremental improvement. So when you're doing incremental improvement to improve your life, that is what I call innovation. You shouldn't shirk away from that. Oh, this is a small thing. You shouldn't shirk away from that, right? So that's where I just want to leave you with that thought. And again,
Thanks, Raghu, for that. I'm going to take only 5 more minutes. I'm not going to be in between your lunch. I know it's got delayed. I had a lot more questions, but I've cut it short by quite a bit. I'm going to just take this is the challenge for all of you guys. 1 minute, address, see, all of them are students. And some of them are going to pass out this year, some of them next year, maybe, 24 months from now, whatever. What's the gap from school to corporate or entrepreneurship? What's the gap? How do you think they should address it? 1 minute, all of you, starting Ramanan.
The prime difficulty that I see when you...
Guys, just listen to this. Hold on 1 second. Guys, 5 more minutes. It's important. The question is, what do you do to fill the gap? So give me 1 more minute of each of them.
Yeah. The prime challenge that I see, that is when you are a student, when you're in the learning phase, and then when you're working. When you are a student, whether we like it or not, the education methodology in this country is not always application oriented. So it would be good if you can start thinking application first and then technology, rather than work on technology and then think about an application on that. This is the gap which we see, which the industry sees. I'm quite sure everybody sees that. And that's where I feel, that if that can be ramped up, you have a solution.
So what do you think how to apply? That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Right. Shivu?
I think only one word you remember, be relevant. And what is relevant, at what times, only you can decide. Only time can say. What is relevant today might be relevant tomorrow. So I think all you have to do is keep checking what is relevant when you're passing out or 1 year before that, and try to gain those skills. Knowledge anyway you will gain in the colleges. But I think what skills to acquire, you need to be very, very relevant. Otherwise, when you come out, there will always be a gap.
Abhishek?
Yeah, I would say that you should always think the right problem to solve, have that thinking capacity rather than jumping on solution. I see a lot of gap. Whenever I ask someone, what is the problem you are trying to solve, they'll come saying, I'm using AI to solve this. That's not the actual problem. What you are trying to solve is something you should see. And second thing is, we need a lot of people to work on medtech. I mean, there is a lot of already companies working on medtech, but we still need a lot of things. You have seen the COVID wave, what happened, what was a disaster. So I'm from medtech space. I want all of you also to work, at least majority of them, on medtech space.
Thanks. Satya?
I think you should try to solve the real world problems, the problems which are right in front of you. It may not be big, but if there is a target market for that, I think try solving that, because small steps, take small steps. Don't look at, don't think that, okay, I'm going to start something and 1 year down the line I'm going to raise some money, and second year I'm going to become a unicorn or a sunicorn. That is not the right approach. If you're trying to solve the problem, if you have 5 customers, then it's equivalent to having 5 investors. And great validation from your customers gives you a great long journey to go. Second thing is, find right mentors to guide you, because without the right mentors, you will not be able to sustain for a long time, because at every stage you need mentors. At product stage you need mentors on technology, but once you have made your product, even if you have a Ferrari, if you don't know how to sell it, it's not a great thing to have.
Learn to listen.
Yeah, learn to listen, because that's actually going to give you time to think. Otherwise, you're burning your energy, and I think 20 years down the line, none of us none of us liked COVID, because it's actually put us in lockdown, right? So maybe not 20 years down the line, but I think 40 years down the line, that's what is going to happen. You will be stationary, and systems will be moving everywhere. Robots will be moving. You don't need to, enjoy this time. You're coming here, you're moving. It's still real world. But 40 years down the line, AI will take over everything. So don't be a part of the subset of the ML which AI is using you to be now.
Padmasri?
I think most of the things have been covered by the others. It's the real world problem that you need to look out for and try to find the solution with the technology that you're presently. You're in a lucky phase that so much of technology is available to you, and try to apply it to the real world problems. And I think that gap is the one which they need to address.
Yeah.
Anup.
Echoing everyone, so when I studied, I did not know how manufacturing industries work, how I was only programming. And when we ran the company, I had to learn about chemistry, because we're helping the pharmaceutical industries. So I think cross-functional learning is extremely important. Please do that. Go and find your chemistry buddies and build a product for all, not only your core domain, but the core is ultimately what you will be building. As well as there are new industries. The industries are going to be about renewable energy, green construction. So these are trends that will go forward, sustainability, and they're real. Industries are already moving towards these. So do research and find out if that's for you.
Satya?
I think from my point of view, I don't think there is for entrepreneurship. I've never been an entrepreneur, but I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs. I have invested in a lot of companies as well as an investor. What I have seen is there is no one framework, right? It all depends on the individual. So the first thing is you need to have the stomach for it. You need to have that passion, that burning desire. And what is that burning desire? To solve a problem, right? So that's the first thing you need to have that in yourself. It has to be in you, right? And the second thing is networking, finding the right people to essentially, figure out a way to solve that problem. And so these are essentially, what I would like to, just share a few thoughts.
Thanks, everybody. I'm just going to say one word, and I think I loved what Satya said. Be curious and build the network. Today, like I said, I think Professor Ashwin just called all of us, and he said we're going to do this event like last week. One phone call and all of them are here. And I'm sure you will connect with them, you'll go look up them and see what they've accomplished. But it took him one phone call to bring all of us here on a Friday morning. So just think what that network is and the strength is. Be curious. Please be shameless and ask for help. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. Thank you very much. Hopefully, it was a good session.